Hi everyone and welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Athena and on this channel we talk about dysfunctional relationships, especially in the family, with a specific focus on narcissistically abusive parents. And we also talk about how we can help ourselves if we suffer with complex PTSD. So if we've grown up with trauma, on this channel we discuss different ways of helping ourselves regulate, on helping ourselves heal. And also, as I am currently training to be an art therapist, I am also offering online group therapy or one-to-one art therapy sessions. In today's video, we're going to talk about why a narcissistic mother tends to make her son the golden child and her daughter the scapegoat child. Now, this is a dynamic that we see a lot, and I've had a lot of you mention this in the comments, that you wish you understood why this was the case. Why does the mother seem to pick on the daughter more, and why does the son get the golden child treatment? Now, I want to make one thing very clear. Both children in a dysfunctional family home will have trauma. Now, obviously, the scapegoated child will suffer more, but the golden child will also suffer because it constantly has to live up to the mother's expectations. It constantly has to put the mother's needs first. And when this golden child's son ends up getting married, having his own relationship, this is when the cracks will start to appear. This is when the mother will want to get involved in the marriage. She wouldn't like it when he starts giving more attention to his wife, his children. This is when the son will start to question his relationship with the mother. Will start noticing that actually this relationship isn't healthy. There is also the case of the golden child son becoming narcissistic himself. And this is a whole other topic that we can discuss in another video. But in today's video, I want to focus on the why. Why does the son get to be in that position of the golden child? Why doesn't the mother make the daughter the golden child? Now, this does happen on rare occasions. It does. But the son becomes the golden child because he is not as much a threat to the narcissistic mother as the daughter is. When a daughter starts becoming more independent, starts forming an identity, starts becoming more of a woman, the narcissistic mother will be threatened by this. She will feel triggered by the daughter, and all of her insecurities and her competitiveness and her envy will come to the surface. Whereas with a son, a narcissistic mother will idealize the son because she doesn't feel as directly threatened by the son, emotionally or socially. Sons can more easily be seen as an extension of the mother's ego. And in many ways, a son can help reflect her success, her status, or both. A narcissistic mother may unconsciously project her idealized self onto her son. It could be that her son's very intelligent, is very special, is very important. And these are all of the things that she looks at when she sees her son. And she feels good through her son. She is proud and she feels validated by the fact that her son is successful. A son who is trained to be a golden child is conditioned to provide the mother with emotional validation, and they can sometimes act as surrogate partners. So the relationship between a narcissistic mother and her son is very enmeshed. So this means that it's actually extremely unhealthy. When the son is really successful, this feeds the narcissistic mother's sense of superiority. Now, when we look at the daughter, on the other hand, the daughter ends up becoming the scapegoat. The daughter does everything wrong because in many ways she mirrors the mother's repressed emotions, such as her emotional depth or her vulnerability, her independence or her insecurity. The daughter may even mirror her sexuality or her creativity, and the mother will constantly feel threatened by this. The mother will look at her daughter as a rival, especially if the daughter does really well in areas that the mother herself actually failed in. A daughter who has a lot to say, who shows emotion, who challenges her mother's behavior, or who tries to set boundaries with the mother will get severely punished and will become a scapegoat. The daughter, unfortunately, becomes a vessel for all of the narcissistic mother's shame and self-loathing, and is essentially labeled the bad child, the bad one, because essentially she carries the family's dysfunction. And this is only because the daughter was actually courageous enough to stand up to the dysfunction, was courageous enough to stand up to the mother's toxic behaviors. The daughter is usually the one that sees the dysfunction early on, is the one that sees what is really going on, is the one that is smart, that is empathetic, that is very much attuned to injustice and speaks up. The more the daughter speaks up, the more the mother punishes her and ostracizes her. And what happens when a daughter has been made the scapegoat is that she internalizes the role of, I am the problem. There is something wrong with me. And she develops so many issues with her own self-worth and will also develop complex trauma. The son will also develop complex trauma. The result of the son being made a golden child means that will be put aside, and it may only start affecting the son later in life. Like I said at the beginning, when he tries to have a family of his own. Now, it's important to remember that a narcissistic mother has a deep need for control and emotional dominance over her children, because she's always thinking about her needs and what she needs from her children. She has a lack of empathy and she is unable to see her children as separate beings, and she will project all of her unprocessed trauma or her unprocessed anger onto her children, especially the scapegoated child. That child will be a threat to this mother because that child reminds her of herself more. That child brings up a mirror to her face and shows her all of the things that she wasn't able to succeed in, all of the things that she wasn't able to do. And she will end up despising that child. She will hate that child. She will make that child feel shame and guilt and unworthy. You have to remember that the mother's ultimate goal is to preserve her false self-image. And in many cases, the son is the one that preserves that false self-image, whereas the daughter is the one that threatens that self-image. And that is why the roles are the way they are. The daughter is usually the scapegoat and the son is usually the golden child. There are cases where you may have 3 boys in a family or 3 girls in a family, and the roles of golden child and scapegoat child will be different for each child, but these roles may also shift. So you may have a golden child, you may have a invisible child, you may have a scapegoated child, you may have none of these. All children may be treated terribly. There are lots of different dynamics that you see in a family. It does depend on whether both parents are narcissistic or not. It depends on how severely mentally ill the mother is. She may have other mental illnesses as well as narcissism. So it really does depend on the individual family, on the parents and what trauma they carry and what personality disorders they have. Now, I hope you found this video useful. I hope it helped clear up why a narcissistic mother chooses her son as a golden child rather than the daughter. If you would like to ask any questions, then please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for listening and for watching today. Take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.